Hi everyone, in today's video I'm going to be asking, has Anastasia given us the most impeccable foundation for mature skin? I'm Amelia and I love all things beauty, so please join me and let's get the fun started. And this is what she looks like. Beautiful frosted bottle, glass, nice gold lid and a pump. There we go. It's really lovely packaging. It feels luxe. It's £39, $46. Really nice packaging. I bought 4N. It comes in 24 shades. I chose 4N, which seemed about right for me. That is 4N there. It's not a neutral shade in anybody's book. So then I went and ordered 3N, which is above, which is closer and is a neutral shade. It's annoying, isn't it? £39 and you can't use a foundation. So yeah, I don't know why it's so hard, but it is. The foundation itself has got so many sort of claims that that's actually what's piqued my interest, even though I'm not normally a sort of a medium to full foundation kind of person. But I am very, very curious indeed. So one of the claims is that it blurs imperfections and it covers up imperfections as well. I have got some things that I want to cover up because I've had some cysts removed and they're still sort of healing. There's kind of things like these little sort of blotches here and here. This is where the sort of cysts have been removed and there's kind of, they look like sort of old spots. And the same here as well. And then I've just got some sun damage here. And then the usual open pores here and on my sort of forehead. Let's see how it copes with that. There, so let's see if we still get a matte finish. I'm just going to put one pump. Oh, that's clever. It's got a mechanism to stop you immediately pumping a second pump. That's clever to sort of stop someone like me sort of applying too much. I've got my BK Beauty 101 here, and let's start in the center. Oh, that's nice. It spreads nicely. That's lovely. Look how quickly it's spreading. Now remember, this is just one pump. Gosh, maybe I've been wrong all this time. It's such a voyage of discovery makeup. I haven't gone back to my hand to put more on, and I'd say I've got almost both sides of both cheeks and chin. Gosh, that's impressive. I'm not using very much. Now it may well be that because my preference with the foundation is a kind of a thin sort of layer, it may well be that I'm sort of naturally kind of doing what I normally do and not giving it as much chance to sort of put a bit more on and cover the blemishes, but I can go back. I'd rather go back and put a bit more on than feel I have to take away. But that finish is, I think they call it, I've written it down, they call it a velvet, yeah, a hydrating velvet matte finish. It's definitely velvety. I'm very surprised. This is not what I expected. It's sort of surpassed expectation. Just on the application, I know we don't know how it's going to wear and how also we'll feel about the coverage itself. The colour's right though. That's good. If you're a shade twin, then 3N. Gosh, that's lovely. That's one pump all over the face basically. What I'll do is I'll move my seat closer and I think you should be able to see better. Would we say that's matte? I don't know whether we would say that's matte. I don't think so. I think you can still see some shine on my forehead. And I mean, admittedly, the lights are bouncing off my forehead, but there's still shine there. There's not shine on my cheeks, I don't think. I'm going to put another pump because I do think if you've got oilier skin, maybe you want to make sure that you don't want the oils to be able to come through. This time I'll start on my forehead and let's see. Now, one of the claims, they're saying it's medium full coverage, and they say that while it blurs pores and it blurs fine lines and wrinkles, let's see if it blurs my pores, does say that it's got a flawless finish and it's like a second skin. So I suppose it's a fine line, isn't it, between is it totally matte or is it like a second skin? You do look like there's a person underneath that foundation, and it's matte, but it's not completely flat. I think that's probably what it is, because that's what gives it that second skin finish. Yeah, it still feels skin-like, even though now with a second pump, we've definitely got full coverage. That blemish, I didn't really focus on it. I will go over it. But say like the hyperpigmentation I've got here, it's covering it. I wouldn't say it's totally covered it. But it is difficult, with tan skin, when you get these little sort of, as it's scarring, those sort of brown marks, they are quite hard to cover. Let's see if I can just cover it. Let's see if I can spot cover it. And let's see here. Yeah, it is covering it. It's covering the blemishes. Now, I've got largish pores here, and I would say they have been blurred. You have to really look to see them, but they've definitely, if you're sort of from this sort of distance, I would say they have been blurred nicely. And it's definitely that second skin feel, I would say, given that it's a full coverage, given that it's matte but not flat, I would say that that's definitely got that second skin quality to it. Because it's a very polished look. For me, it's a very polished look. It has definitely got that velvety matte quality, but I don't feel I'm wearing a mask. And by the time I've got a bit of blusher on and put a bit more colour back into the cheeks and a little bit more definition, I think it's going to look really good. I'm kind of blown away by this. Also, I did take it up close to my eyes because when I'm trying a new foundation, I really have a preference not to use any concealer, just because I want to see really what it looks like with just that being the only complexion product on my face. And I did take it sort of to where this is the dark bit of my eye here, and I did sort of naturally take it up there, and it has covered a bit of the darkness as well. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. I'm pleased with that, not just as a sort of a demonstration to show you, particularly if you want something, if you've got normal to combination or combination to oily skin and you really do want something that's sort of medium to full coverage. But I'm just pleased with it, just, for myself to have this kind of foundation, because I don't have anything like this. This has got hyaluronic acid in it, and it does say that it's moisturising, and it feels it. I do feel that moisture. I haven't got that feeling of wearing something very powdery and it feeling dry. I absolutely don't have that feeling. I mean, honestly, the way it feels is the way it feels with the foundations that I kind of favour, which are both the Guerlain Le Teint and the new Guerlain Glow, as well as the other foundation I suppose I wear quite a lot is the Huda Beauty Blurring Foundation. It just feels like that, and they're pretty light foundations, those three that I've just mentioned. That's what it feels like. Very hydrating, lovely finish, a finish that I'm not used to, but it's not drying at all, and it's not got that mask quality to it. You might want to wear powder if you are an oilier skin type. I'm only saying that because of what's going on in my forehead, and there is a little bit of glow. I'm happy with that, because that glow for me, both for a mature skin and for a dry skin, that's a good thing. However, I do appreciate if you're likely to have some oil coming throughout the day, you may well want to put powder on from the start. I'm happy to put some powder on to show you. I've got my Hourglass here. It is quite an illuminating powder, but it's still a powder. This is dim light. This is the ambient lighting. This is my little travel one that I've got because I couldn't get the full size for some reason. I have got my BK 104 here, and let's get a little bit of this powder on. That's mattifying it a tiny bit. However, if I was to use something like the Huda powder or the Makeup by Mario powder, that would be very matte, much more matte than this. But even so, you can see that that's been mattified. But honestly, for my skin, this is perfection. For a mature skin, regardless of what skin type you are, this is great. This is really lovely. And I would say, assuming it wears well, and let's see, because we'll do a check-in, but this is very much what I would kind of class for myself as more of a kind of event foundation, that if I was going to an event and I really wanted that really polished look, this would be it. This is a really lovely, velvety, polished look. I'm going to put some blusher on and some bronzer and some lipstick. So I've put the bronzer on. I'm just putting a bit of the blusher on, the YSL number 57, just a peachy tone. Again, no shimmer, so let's just keep in keeping with the matte theme. Both the bronzer and the blusher has gone on really easily because, of course, it's the foundation is matte and smooth. It's really gone on with no problem at all if you have a look. I've put a bit of lip liner on. I'm going to use this Anastasia Lip Velvet in Rosy Mauve. particularly lovely. And also, again, it's velvet, it's matte. The only shine is provided by a bit of spice, a bit of the shimmer from spice. Here's the finished makeup. Let's have a look at this stage. This is at the beginning, and then, as I said, we'll come back and have another closer look. I'm very pleased with it, but I do wonder what you think, and actually, you know, let's see how it's going to perform as well. 12 hours is quite a long time. That's the finished look for now. I will go about my day and I'll be back and I'll report back as to the wear, and we'll have a closer look as well. It's after 2 in the morning in London, and that's about 11.5 hours since I put this on. Everybody's asleep and I'm the one that's ready to party. Anyway, I've had a look with my normal mirror, and I've also looked in the magnifying mirror as well. Have a look and I'll talk you through what I think is going on. I think it stood up, the foundation stood up really well. The powder probably should have been more matte. I should have used a probably different powder if I wanted my forehead to be completely matte. But as I said, I'm kind of wedded to the Hourglass. It's really good for a dry skin. I think where I can see a difference is on my chin. I think the foundation's basically been absorbed into my skin. I suppose the learning point is for someone like me with a dry, mature skin, I would use a primer under this. What I would say is, given that this has sort of absorbed a bit, and I can see because the slight redness that I had, very, very slight, the way it's appeared, this is totally sort of, you know, manageable with a primer like the Milk Hydra Grip. That would sort of sort it out for me. There's that. The other thing is, looking at my pores here and here, I would say you can see them more than you could at the beginning, but it's still pretty good. And again, I think for me, if I wore a primer, that would sort out the problem, because I've sort of had this before with other foundations that frankly were sort of more appropriate for my skin type, and using a primer sort of sorted that out. But honestly, I would say, given what I've been doing, which is, you know, running around, rubbing my face a bit as well because I've been cooking, and, you know, some of the vegetables that I've been peeling made me feel a bit itchy, and I've been kind of, you know, just been a bit rough. And you can see actually, because my blush has kind of gone, well, most of the blush has kind of gone because I had been rubbing my face a bit, but actually it stood up. The foundation has stood up to that. I should say that the foundation is meant to be water resistant, and while I wasn't sort of in the rain or anything like that, I have been cooking the last sort of couple of hours, and it has been pretty steamy, to the extent that I thought my hair's going to go frizzy, but then I remembered quite how much hairspray I put in it yesterday. It's stood up fine. The lipstick is different because the lipstick wore off because I ate and drank tea and all this kind of stuff, and I had a lip gloss that was sitting around in the kitchen. I put it on just so my lips stayed hydrated. What I would say overall with a foundation, firstly, the shades. The shade range isn't nearly wide enough. I mean, it's ridiculous. We just have to keep saying this in this day and age, but it's clearly not. There's also, less importantly, from a sort of global point of view, the first colour that I bought, 4N, it wasn't just too dark. It was just orange. It was not neutral. It was, you know, golden. That's really annoying, because it's not like I chose a neutral colour that was too dark, which would mean that at least I'd have been able to wear it when I've got a bit more of a tan from sort of, you know, Easter time onwards. That's not right. So in terms of the shades, given that this is a foundation and it's a big purchase and it's a considered purchase, I really would wait to go into store where you can swatch, because I don't know, it's taken me 2 goes to buy it online, and even then I think I was lucky that the 3N was right for me. I would say in terms of the texture of the foundation itself, it's the most lovely texture. It definitely blurs. I think it lasted really well. I don't think it was flawless in terms of how well it lasted, but it's a lot better than I would have expected, frankly, given how dry my skin is, and I'm probably not the target market for it. It's a really good colour for me. It's a lovely even tone. In terms of how this is for mature skins, as you can see from when I tried it, I'm really surprised at how good it is on my mature skin. I kind of expected I kind of expected a tight feeling, or somehow just feeling a bit heavier than I like. Whereas I would say this is the very sort of acceptable end for someone like me who wants a very thin, light to medium coverage. I would say it's very much the most acceptable side of a medium to full coverage. As you know, I use 2 pumps, and I still got a really good skin-like finish. It's not really a phrase I like to use, because I kind of think, well, I'm not quite sure what that means, given that we do want something that looks a bit flawless and therefore will look a bit more polished. But actually, with this foundation, I'm just looking at the mirror now, I feel my skin looks polished without feeling like I'm wearing a lot of foundation, or somehow wearing a product that feels heavy. I'm not getting that at all. And also, I did go underneath my eyes, and actually, looking at it now, it's not really creased. It's not like I've got something on there. I'm not getting that at all. I'm still getting a nice smooth finish under my eyes. For anybody with mature skin, this is fantastic, and I'm sure it's going to be good for anyone with normal combination and oily. It's velvety without being flat, and that's, I couldn't really have asked for more. I didn't really think I was going to be capable of being able to ask for something like this, because actually it surpassed my expectation. I'm absolutely delighted. That's fantastic. So well done, Anastasia. I'm pleased, because now there's foundation that I like, eyeshadow I like, and the lip velvets as well. Thank you so much. I really hope that was helpful. Do let me know in the comments. Are you sort of tempted to buy this? Is this something that you'd like to give a go? Maybe you've tried the previous Anastasia foundations as well. I'd like to know what you think, and whether you feel that it would be appropriate for your skin type, whatever it would be. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate you being here. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.